Hi, this is Mark Soden. I'm here for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13. I'm here with Sander Wolf.
My name is Sander Roscoe Wolff, and I am currently in the city of Lakewood, California.
What sound all those years ago led you to experiment with sound?
Well, when I remember having access to my father's portable cassette recorder when I was in second or third grade, and making all kinds of little recordings of the weirdest noises and sounds, some of which, when I listen to them now, I have no idea what they were. Um, Maybe they were machine noises or bits of radio, static. A few years later, I started getting involved with um, ham radio. When I was in third grade, I actually got my ham radio license. And a few years after that, my father actually bought me a receiver and a little system where I could actually listen to transmissions from all over the world. And I loved the noise that you sometimes hear between bands,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And some of that actually shows up in the piece that I've submitted for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13.
Do you have a piece of gear that you are going to use for Santa Ana Noise Fest 13 that you find inspiring and would like to tell us about?
Indeed, I will show it to you right now. This is it. Can you see it?
Yes.
It is my iPad Pro. And this is what I used to create all but one part of the recording that's going to be my featured piece. If I may, I'll just show you here. Can you hear that?
Yes, yes.
So this is a synthesizer that really just works with oscillators. It's not intended to be musical, really, and it has a fairly complicated modulation system. So oscillators can modulate oscillators, which are then being modulated by other oscillators, and uh, it's pretty wonderful. And it has kind of a touch screen control system, which I really love. There's another app which is actually very similar to that one. I'm going to show you, if you don't mind. This is an app called Dronio, and it's actually very similar to the other one in that it has a series of oscillators which are modulatable, and it's kind of doing this
Kind of the
thing,
crispy cutting in and out thing.
right? And then I have another one of those first ones doing something similar. And then the last one I have is it's an app called Ripple Maker, which is really based on West Coast synthesis, modular synthesis, sort of in the lines of Buchla. And you can hear some of it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in the recording, I'm going to turn it this way. You can, so it's pretty wacky. And then I have some, these are effects that do chopping of the sound.
Mm-hmm.
But even though it's kind of anti-rhythmic, there's a rhythmic component to it. In all three of these, I'm using them in different settings.
Right.
So they're kind of pulsing, but sort of independently of each other. Um, and then the last thing that I included in the piece is some audio from a public domain film that uh, I I found. It's actually a fairly famous story called "The Last Man on Earth" with Vincent Price. And I don't have that on my iPad. I actually assembled the final track in Cubase on my PC. So, but the iPad for me is absolutely indispensable.
Well, it certainly has upped the portability of your setup. That's
I-
fantastic.
Indeed, and what I used to have compared to what I have now, my old rig, which was very complicated, took me about an hour and a half to set up, and this is really just one cable, so can't really argue with that.
There's a lot to like. That's
Yes,
a wonderful thing.
yes.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing the Dronio and hearing a little bit of Last Man on Earth. Is there anything else you'd like to add for people coming to Santa Ana Noise Fest 13?
Well, this is the third time that I've participated. The first time was with a performance duo I was in back in the day called Ein So Far with Karloff. And
Hmm.
the second time was with Toaster Music. I'm still involved in Toaster Music. We perform regularly. And in fact, you joined us last month. Um,
That was
and that was,
great fun.
yeah, I'm really glad you were able to do it. And then for me, this is really exciting to be participating as a solo artist. I'm a musician first and foremost, but I love working with sound as an abstract thing. My tendency is to kind of approach it compositionally, but at the same time, I love the feeling of just working with raw sound in a non-musical context.
Hmm.
To me, it's really thrilling, and I'm really happy and excited to be involved in this year's virtual event.
Well, thank you very much, Sander. Roscoe Wolff. Have a nice evening.
Thank you so much.